As some no me I'm say how? At least I just grant my airport by 1 year.
You know, do you have information whether he has the evidence?
So let me ask you that question.
You are not answering my question.
No, I'll answer your question. I've answered your question.
Does he have evidence?
I've answered your question, but if you're asking an unfair question, it should be turned to you so you can answer it. The question you are asking me is an unfair question.
This question is unfair. You see why I keep telling Ghana for say these are a group of distractors.
Are you expecting that in Team 4 to fetch a sample of the cocaine and show anybody?
Mr. My lucky say, and I'm your president. Wait, Kobe Huyani been for 4 years and said we pay abontene.
He who alleges must prove. Na untimi spelling swa. Menchere, enti untimi ma mekanche ye say. Bibi drug trafficking be koso. Ewa bra muni evidence. Me sure. Say what is Serwaa Amihere trendy. Minina efa cocaine allegations yi hon. Ebuzia me pie what ya say nsem bi akoso evidence bi akoso ama Kevin Ekobadu Taylor ene ye papa Hopeson Adory areate ebusia memo tie memo hwe no hu de ekoso na wahu se cocaine allegations no ana Cocaine Saga no akwakosi sen etime pie na wate ase no hu de Serwaa Amihere aka ama eye NPP communications director Yera Richard Ahiagba enso ebuafu a chese ama Kevin Taylor ene Yera Hopeson Adory enso areate aha eye AJ gossips mesro se obekere wadwe na wi a wahye video ama onu ebisa etumi aka etie ne say about Cocaine Saga ya enanu ya chese NIB ebowura eye honorable reverend intim Boateng efie se obeka ya mebeka kire wo se omuko ho no NPP panfo bebre na no bowura ho Emma NPP communications director Kronko Kohobi Emma ne kasai.
Why are you all here? Well, there's a reason for us to be here. It is said that a man's desire for democracy or man's capacity for justice makes democracy possible. But our inclination to injustice makes democracy necessary. What we are seeing in our country with a government that is in place, having come into office democratically, is using the security services to intimidate and abuse the rights of our citizens. And I think that's why we're here.
Emunechi ena chese Serwaa Amihere ene no etwetwe nkomo ewo GH1 ena obusa ne say Yera Richard de ekos ni nyina na me edu so ya awe enyew asem foforo na mo baake eye reverend forjo intim na anyabia de ekoso no owo evidence ana wo ya awe ana wunim se owo evidence ebusa director muna na tikokum adenti na se we busa na sa question no.
Does Reverend Intim Forjo have evidence?
Sorry?
Does he have evidence?
How do you find out if he has evidence?
I'm asking you.
I'm coming. I will answer your question. How do you ask if he has evidence? To send 20 NIB gun-wielding people to go and ask him?
That's not what I'm asking.
I'm asking you, but that's what they have done.
I am asking you. Does he have evidence?
Let me tell you. You asked a question earlier to answer your question of evidence. Already I've told you that you are not expecting Team 4 to carry a handful of. Well, I'm getting.
That's fine, but I'm asking.
So what evidence are you asking for?
You, as the director of communications for the party, and someone who has been following this matter very closely, you were in his house yesterday.
Yeah.
Are you personally? Yeah. You know, do you have information whether he has the evidence?
So let me ask you that question.
You are not answering my question.
No, I'll answer your question.
I've answered your question. Does he have evidence?
I've answered your question, but if you're asking an unfair question, it should be turned to you so you can answer it. The question you are asking me is an unfair question. Are you expecting that in Team 4 to fetch a sample of the cocaine and show anybody?
That's not what I'm asking.
The evidence he has is that.
Does he have evidence of the allegations that he's making?
You have agreed that he cannot bring sample of the cocaine or notes from the plane, okay? So we agree that he cannot do that. Now, the evidence you are looking for is the inconsistency and the lack of purpose of that flight here in our country. Now, Kwachi Fosu said that the N8223 AM flight, which started the conversation here on the 20th or so of March, that flight was on its way somewhere. It was traveling, going someplace. Are you with me? The plane was not destined for Ghana. Its destination was not Ghana.
Okay.
The N8, sorry, let me just put this. The N823 AM flight. Felix Kwachio Fosu says that flight was not destined to come to Ghana. Its destination was not Ghana. It was going somewhere. And somehow, it felt that it needed refueling, which is questionable to begin with. Because if you're an airplane taking off, you calculate the distance from where you are going and how much fuel you need. So where were they going? And they didn't know how much fuel they need.
But airlines stop for refueling.
But I'm saying that it's only emergency situations. But I'm just saying that wherever they were going, Felix says that they got up there and they were tired, okay, and they wanted to rest.
He didn't say
That's
that.
what they said. They said they landed here for crew rest.
He said when they landed.
No.
He didn't say when they were up there. They got tired.
How would they decide that they were tired? They got
crew rest happens in this country all the time.
But I'm saying that he's saying that that flight was not coming to Ghana. But somehow they were tired and they thought they needed refueling. Okay, and so they landed here. And upon landing, they burst a tire, and then also they realized that their landing gear was faulty. Okay?
Richard, you haven't answered my
question.
I've
answered your question, except you are looking for, you are looking to draw a blood off a stone. It's impossible.
But
I have asked you the question.
Let's not do a back and forth because of our audience, else they won't follow the conversation.
They are following the conversation. You are asking an unfair question.
How is it unfair?
I'll ask you, do you expect Intim Fojo to bring a handful of cocaine as evidence?
That's not what I'm asking you.
So what are you expecting to be evidence?
That's what I'm asking you.
What are you expecting
Mr. Ahiagba,
a reasonable evidence to be? What are you expecting evidence to be?
So please, if you will allow me, you as a member of the party, in very close relation with Reverend Intim Fojo, I'm asking you, does he have any information that we do not know as Ghanaians? As
he has given you the information he has.
From all the information that he has, you believe that he has compellable evidence?
But you should determine unless you say otherwise.
All right.
But I'm telling you, no. You see,
quickly, I need to bring
it in.
you
can go. But the point is that an aircraft leaves its destination to come here. Okay? But first, Kwachio Fosu tells us that it wasn't coming here, it was going somewhere else. But what we have learned is that the aircraft was destined to come to Ghana. It stayed in Ghana 5 days and left. Another aircraft came, supposedly, according to Felix Kwachio, that was coming to deliver some parts to it and whatnot. And after it delivered the parts, it went out of Ghana. And then that flight came back to Ghana. Felix didn't tell us that. So there's demonstrable inconsistency in the narrative, which is a basis enough. A government that is focused on fighting illicit financial flows and drug trafficking should take interest in that tip-off to say that, please, let's find out if there's something there. Look, it's not going to cost the government anything other than what they're already doing to investigate and fight that crime. The crime, illicit financial flows and drug trafficking is fought based on suspicion. Nobody goes and carry cocaine and say, look, this is cocaine I found. It's based on evidence. The whole national security setup is based on tip-offs.
Also, and Kawasa cocaine be from Can you imagine? Abusia, Serwaa Amihere na obi nso gina ho a or they send a Cocαine Saga Abusia Ajeta. Asem na kwa headquarters in Loud Silence TV. With all due respect, Abusia Cocαine Saga and so essay yenyano no one can be. Yema ne bre no so can be.
This is their director of communications. The director of communications now Okasama NPP no Richard Ahiagba. What has will be an anoka? Or see, it is an unfair question to ask whether Intim Fojo has evidence. These are for Bravo Mutiasie. Ye busa say Intim Fojo has sabna wakano. Ninjina so or say a unfortunate say ye busa say adentina only evidence. Asama a free party. This question is unfair. You see why I keep telling Ghana for say these are a group of distractors. The NPP as a political party, Jimmy. This is Obi also Kasama NPP. Yebusa say, Sani Pana Mujina ho say mu defending no. Does he have evidence? Because what we are looking at a national security issue. Abayaba. O say abaying planes abefa cocaine in the name of the government. This is national security because we are looking at the credibility of this country, the presidency, the government. If you make such an allegation, you should be able to have evidence to back it. Because what they want to do, then they say, they want to destroy NDC Abano, Senebeya, NDC Abano Kwabon, they will give it a bad name. That is what they are doing. They know that 38-year-old fool has no evidence to what he's saying. Now you sit on national television. Ni Ebusa will say, for Jonah Mudinechi, mo kontokwa. Mo say, Obibe Bonono, our evidence, or say, Fojo cannot carry cocaine in his hand and come and show. Really? Because as some Kenya, any die in sorry, and a Fojo was a one in team Fojo Abeka say in the sea, and to say, in team Fojo, 38-year-old boy, Ura Parliament. Now we Ura Parliament. Speaker Alban Bagbin, already the head of Parliament. Technically, Parliament to Kurenedia. Now Fojo Ura security check, metal detectors, the physical checks. Abetna Parliament. Now Obiaka say in team Fojo or a drug peddler or tonton drugs for Parliament or tonton red ma parliamentarians. Emma NPP for nom or tonton cocaine ma NPP for nom. Now Obie ewo the other side say in team Fojo or ton red or Parliament or ton cocaine or Parliament. Alban Bagbin or ye the head of Parliament say no. This issue you are saying is a matter very important to say. Parliament, police, they need to basically look into it because you cannot sit on the other side and say in team for what on red or Parliament, my MPP for no and cocaine. So Alban Bagbin, who is the president of Parliament, says then you, the person making the allegation, Etia Eddie and Fojo, collaborate or work with Parliament security. Now, at the bottom of it, the first thing you people have to do, you have to help Eddie. Security or more parliamentar. Offer security more bedroom, right? So one, they will start to look at the cameras. For Jodu gate, you know, offer metal detector mu, yes searching, or bedroom physical search, yes searching, all by cameras are picking each other no kuta BBI just air contraband. Ninginano, some investigations needs to be done, but it needs to be done in collaboration with Nipana or make allegation here for Jono, any parliament security. Now we are asking Wuna Woya allegation here for Jono or ton red or ton bima afejomaken. And it's original Jimino or Tom Bima MPP for. Now, you, the person who made the allegation against for yourself or on drugs, no, you are saying, say, it is unfair to ask you, say, a dinner Ujina Asoka say, for your on drugs or Parliament. You are insane. So, right now, from their point, the allegation is evidence. That is the understanding of MPP in Kwasiafu Epesi GD. Because when you listen to Omo communicators, and Omo this guy, he's trying to tell us to say the allegations for John made is the evidence. How can allegation be evidence? This fool is trying to tell you to say the evidence is the allegations. What? These are just distractions. Nobody's supposed to pay attention to these fools again. Some are catch them and say, when one Jimmy, they have no message for Ghanaians. Their party has disintegrated. They don't have any message. They don't even have a leader. So that is why they are holding on to this. They know there's nothing there. You have gotten the best opportunity to prove to the world to say that fool or making allegation or evidence. Or catch say I think in team for your answer cocaine good in sim. In team for your because I said the near Ninjina swan dien. Whether the plane wasn't destined for Ghana, whether the plane was destined for Ghana, whether the crew were tired or not, whether a landing gear was changed, I don't care. What I care about is the statement you made. What was your basis? That's all. But when we allow such fools, near Jai Party Jimmy Fowe, now you Jai de here, I was say you're Ghana. We are not supposed to pay attention to these people. Yeah, I'm going if you on C.
We're engaging the people there. What has been the conclusion? You are live on TV. You are live on TV. Nobody can cover anyone. Truth will stand. Thank you for your prayer. Thank you. We're engaging the people there. What has been the conclusion? You are live on TV. You are live on TV. Nobody can cover anyone. Truth will stand. Thank you for your prayer. Thank you.
What's wrong with you? Ya be chiba tum we di bone. Ya buga dia fam. He's just a kid. He's just 38 years. Oya kwara. Jimmy na ahye mu until say atia no. Mesi my lucky say enyame na me president. Wait. Ko be hwia ni bini for 4 years and said we pia bontene. It's a kid. So corrupt. Also a reverend. Mumuza say akwara na ko we na wanje.
Enye obi ene kumanchi bu esi akona ene ne ti. He say, oh, you're so now so by your politics, then you waboa. I waboa because in same be having a community like use ya. Emma suffer now make many and jemo because with all due respect, where you suffer regardless of bibiano or you suffer. Then so enya abanisa. Eti yera Hopeson ya ovia do say, oh no, why ye juma ewo airport for over 1 year. Eti onim bibi efa airport juma. So enkasa.
Ti wo na ye ordinary Ghanaian no. Wo na wo ba best suffer the consequences of this ye can say statement. Eje omo odo wo ye MP odu odo mo kita diplomatic passport wo twam ko wo ordinary Ghanaian no wo begina line mo more than 2 hours na wo gina line no mo because you say Ghana aba be ye the hub of cocaine. Eti ye best search o baby and say search you know best search. That is the consequences are benya. Number 1. Asam no memeche ye no. I'm say how? At least I just no my airport by 1 year. Na ye wo mu nyina ni say cargo plane bi eba.
Okay.
Switchport for our more airport woman the handle. Eti wo mo ana be se obe sika se ana se obesia eyomo ana be hwesa no manina se bibi wo mu asese omo offload a eyomo wo ma se de wo mu na be yesa no manina now cargo no be landi wia ansa na sa inspections no be koso no Switchport ebema aviation security ayawe
okay
anti obe inform the national security the NIB the narcotics for ana other agencies, customs, they will put them on alert.
Okay.
So they will go there and then do inspection. Answer. Wabubeji nyama free moa omwaji. Wabuji nyama free moa ebe go through scan. Answer appear bonten amomodi akokora. So now that is number 1. Number 2, say adie se flight no eye transitor. Ebia oba beye refueling. Anase wanya for to be no pese or fix ya wano no oba eye ade se onyi hwim free munti no sa o munti minyi mu nyina enko fascan mu ansi asande aba begum because eja de omoyi bibia wa hasen ene ne kai ka ho that this particular aircraft otu ya wo no na ontimi nko ne destination direct
aden
flight no ebia ni na yi ebu ho no mu a wo kwa say enye flight kese sa
okay
eti fuel inside na bia esese wo si baby now ye refuel answer wako obi ho no mu a no ofi say esese be ye maintenance bi ansa mako eni na kai ka ho sa na adenite eti we no okọ no Europe nso so de wo kwa eya wo mo regulations ni ade no eya wo mo mfa ni abro
okay
so ho ne ete no eti say wo ye transit dia and esese o san go through another test here. I don't know, I'm fan RA3.
Okay.
RA3 no. Say one timi anye senka o to free no hono na wo straight nka problem ni ho. But once we see from once who say true no, they need that report. And yes you cannot go there.
Okay.
Eti omo ye se omo ba omo anya for to be omo yimu a omo be see wa say no necessary omo ye
enti fault na ma omo di see ye
omo de baye mi ama okita omo nyina anya de ba Ghana
okay
eye drilling machines no mu ne oye bi ni ne kai ka ho enya de ba Ghana
okay
eti o hwe picture na omo de bebeto abo picture na for su kwati twaye no enye wo no ene kokko twaye because all kasa nkranesa afraid na tuko eye security for no a wo mo call ho no wo mo wo hwe wo se no mo ye inspection wo mo bie eyi no bi so wo mo take e so mo ye sane o mani nyina wo mo sane ni nyina na fe the destination for no ensaka and so mama clearance say den bra
it's me akọ
so on the no enti me say me ya adwuma ho etoda obi tuma be ka kiro ye say obi discover na ewo kago session ho ewo ayimu bebre eti untimi hwe ma yenkongo yi I'm say how can you bring money everybody see hodum afa scan him na esi hodum say just say the wo be si aba be kanu no say one ma wadwini mu ando a wo so de wato asemu
ye hwe abre a sanfo nyini na ebeto oja na okasa machine no no mo be drilling machines no sa na flight ni ebesi ye no e no mu twa sa video ni yes inspections na
that's right
asem everybody be ewusia Cocaine Saga e na chese ye chechire mu no evidence no they say evidence na ye share ni mu say proof ne saying we prove and they say we need a sworn saying you've alleged so you have to prove and no NHS NPP communications director Serwaa Richard Ahiagba and say ono dey want to be da eni kwa say ka Serwaa Amihere ebusa the same question no Serwaa anya dey kra say ono panyini sa na ebusa the same question no question anya relevant ti want me answer ebusa me ya sure so what reply akọ so mekoso e dey akire because asem we no abeya ade a tese ababegu Ghana anim ase oh yes ayade a abegu yanim ase na me ye sure say uti nkyeremu a Serwaa Hopeson Adory e de baaye no ye yet manfo no e na ebenya ye sunsunsanso because ono politician no otu kwan ya ye nkoko search no feel free na kire wadwen e wo comment section na wi a e share video no e ma onu ebinsa entumi enka meda wase na mama omo ene share aha eye AJ gossips message say obe subscribe to channel no na wabo adoma ne so say de be ya ye drop video bi a wonsa beka na wahu de ekoso oman yi mu ene aman foforo eso din no e di AJ Magraheb